Dude, what is up, YouTube? Jay Z and Beyonce is her horrifying secrets. I've been researching, man, because Blue, I didn't know that the daughter Blue, there's a singer that they used to have, man. I didn't know this. They had a singer. Did y'all know this? It's a singer named Blue that's like, I don't know, around Beyonce or whatever, and singing. She had that melody in the song. I remember that song a little bit, man. I don't know the words. Long story short, now they saying that they think Blue is her mama. Yeah, she's the mama, and they think the other girl's the mama. And they also show that my belly don't. Even my little fat belly don't even buckle like that. And I ain't even pregnant. At least I think I ain't. Am I pregnant? No, I don't think so. No, I'm just playing, y'all. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. Y'all know how Uncle Mike do. Let's check this bad
Jay Z
boy.
and Beyonce have just been dragged in the middle of the Diddy scandal.
All of that would be litigated in a court of law, but according to Jay Z, he didn't have anything to do with it.
For months, fans have speculated if Jay Z and Beyonce, two of Diddy's closest and most powerful associates, would find themselves under scrutiny. As Diddy's empire crumbles right before our eyes, there's been rampant rumors over what celebrities might find themselves in the crosshairs. And on December 8th of 2024, we finally got our answer. A federal lawsuit filed in the Southern District of New York accused Jay Z and Diddy in a heinous alleged assault of a 13-year-old girl. While it's important to acknowledge that these accusations haven't been proven, the lawsuit itself is a pretty shocking blow to Jay's public image.
Wait a minute, y'all. I'm looking at it now. This is 5 months old, so they can't handle. They can't have no new information, man. So wait a minute, Uncle Mike I apologize for that one. Wait a minute. I might have the Blu Central claims Jay Z and Beyonce killed. Yeah. 5 days ago. Let's rock this one right here. Let's see what this one is. This is a warning.
Same person that robbed me for like $500 for a session ended up being in the studio while I was there with the president of the label.
We have them locked down.
I think so. I think they're in love.
That's gangster.
Politics speaking.
No, I really do think they're in love. I have a big crush on him now.
Blu Cantrell. You were singing Boo.
Dang.
And you made a choice to work with someone, and you probably didn't realize how nefarious he was when you got involved with him. I didn't.
What Blu Cantrell kept locked away about Jay Z might flip how you see both of them forever. This ain't just gossip. This is my call out, my public shout. Blue, it's time for you to sing again. For years, there's been talk, whispers in the back rooms of hip hop about a hidden romance, a secret baby, and a silence that didn't come from choice. But what happens when that silence finally breaks? Did Blu Cantrell get wiped off the map just to protect the Carter empire? And here's the real shocker. What if Blue Ivy, the daughter Jay Z shares with Beyonce, was never actually Beyonce's biological kid in the first place?
Attention because you're around each other so much and you're fighting and you're nitpicking, and definitely can relate to that.
Yeah, let that sink in. We're diving headfirst into one of the wildest, most twisted theories in music history. And by the time this ride's over, you won't ever hear the name Blue the same way again. Let's not forget, before the chaos, before she vanished from the spotlight, Blu Cantrell wasn't some random. She was that girl. Her real name, Tiffany Cobb. And she had the talent, the looks, the heat, everything. Blu Cantrell had it all. Crazy vocals, the look, and major players in the game backing her up. After grinding in the background for years, singing behind big names like Diddy, she finally got her moment in 2001. That debut album, So Blue, dropped, and boom, she didn't just pop off, she exploded. Her single, Hit 'Em Up Style, Oops, Bite, was everywhere. Radio stations were playing it nonstop. She wasn't just rising, she was dominating. In just 2 weeks, her album went gold, hit the Billboard 200, and even scored two Grammy nominations. She was doing press runs, getting booked for huge tours, and was neck and neck with R&B queens like Ashanti, Mia, and Monica. But just when it looked like Blue was headed straight to the top, something changed. And it had nothing to do with weak music or flopped sales. Nah, the drama was deeper. It had Jay Z written all over it. Word from the industry, Blu and Jay weren't just crossing paths. Insiders say they had real chemistry. People spotted them cozy at events, chilling on vacations, and even turning up at private parties. Something was going on and folks were watching. It wasn't just any parties they were seen at. These were VIP events thrown by big names like Diddy. The whispers about a romance started swirling hard. Even Wendy Williams, never one to hold back, hit Blu with the bold question live on air. Had she ever kissed Jay Z? Blu's response? She laughed nervously, dodged the whole thing, and didn't say yes, but she sure didn't say no either. No denial, no clarification, just a sly little smirk that said everything without saying a word. Can't answer that, she teased, but by then, the damage was already done. That one moment had the whole industry buzzing. Instead of killing the rumors, Blu accidentally lit them on fire. And the timing couldn't have been worse. This was right as Beyoncé was stepping into the spotlight on her solo path. And if the whispers were true, Jay Z found himself stuck between two stars on the rise, one wild and fearless like Blu, and the other younger and super calculated like Beyoncé.
Kiss Jay Z romantically?
No. No, I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
No,
Why
I
do people
can't
not want to
answer
let
that.
the Jay Z Blu Cantrell thing go?
Then came the
No, I
second
can't answer
bombshell.
that. That's
In
crazy.
that same now iconic Wendy Williams interview, Blu hinted at something even messier. She claimed Jay Z didn't pick Beyoncé for talent, but because she was younger and easier to control, that line hit different.
I said on the radio that I didn't think it would last, though.
What, me and him?
Yeah,
Why?
because you're above 25.
Why? He needs somebody younger than
At
that?
the end of the day, yeah.
Why did you say that?
Because I think at the end of the day, a younger, less savvy to the ways of the world broad.
Somebody a little bit more naive.
You said it, not me.
Back then,
Oh, wait
folks
a
brushed
minute. I didn't even know that's Wendy Williams when she was real young. What years was this? That's when I didn't even, man, I seen so many of them clips, man. I never even knew that was Wendy Williams. God dog it. Here we go. That's Wendy Williams right
the ways of the
there.
world broad.
Somebody a little bit more naive.
You said
You
it.
said it, not me.
You said
Back
it, not
then,
me.
folks brushed it off as just some petty shade. But looking back now, it sounds like a warning shot. Blu sounded like a woman who got used, tossed aside, and left to watch someone else live the life she was promised. And she didn't hold back. Blu straight up accused Beyoncé of jacking her whole vibe, her style, everything. Then it all started crumbling. Bookings dried up. Her label, Arista, quietly let her contract go. No big announcement, no public drama, just silence. Her songs stopped spinning on the radio, and her name started fading fast. Within months, Blu Cantrell, once one of R&B's hottest new stars, had gone ghost. Was it just a fall off, or did someone pull strings to make sure she disappeared? If you ask Jaguar Wright, another artist who's been loud about the dark side of the music game, there's no mystery. She said it plain. Blu didn't vanish by accident. According to Jaguar, Jay Z and Beyoncé used their power to blacklist her, and even naming their daughter Blue Ivy wasn't just a cute coincidence, it was symbolic. Jaguar said, Jay Z worked very hard to erase you and me. By the time Blu tried to make a comeback in 2013, the industry had already slammed the door shut. She tried to come back. Blu announced a third album and called herself a free agent, but nothing dropped. No singles, no music videos, no buzz, just silence. And then
Nobody
in
would work with her.
2014, everything blew up. Blu was found running barefoot through the streets of Santa Monica, screaming that someone was trying to poison her with gas. She got taken in for a psych evaluation, and the media jumped on it, painting her as unstable, like she just snapped out of nowhere. And just like that, her name wasn't linked to talent anymore.
You know what? To be honest, man, if you think about it, I bet you any amount of money they had everything to do with that. They set somebody up to get in there to act like they gonna gas her up or drugged her up, hallucinating mushrooms, whatever. They done spiked her up. Now she's tripping. And then they send somebody in there. Boo, I'm gonna run down the street and I'm gonna have all the reporters there ready they set the whole thing up, man. Can't you get it? So we gonna destroy her. Oh my God, that's a shame, man. When somebody target you, y'all haters start targeting people, man.
It was tied to
crazy.
Scandal. But hold up. Was that really a mental break, or was Blu trying to run from something? Something darker? Some folks say she was never meant to make it out. And then there's the rumor, the one that refuses to die, that Blu Cantrell is actually the real mother of Blue Ivy Carter. Sounds like internet nonsense, right? Until you start stacking the pieces.
How can I, man? I'm watching it on a big screen, y'all, and I done watched this thing 100 times. Dang. That joint is, first of all, even if your stomach buckle, it ain't gonna be no smooth, perfect buckle like that. It ain't gonna be a smooth, that's a smooth crease like the thickness of a styrofoam or something, man. God,
that refuses to die. That Blu Cantrell is actually the real mother of Blue Ivy Carter. Sounds like internet nonsense, right? Until you start stacking the pieces. Suddenly, it don't feel so crazy. It feels planned.
She didn't realize.
Start with the timeline. Blu vanished from the spot.
My bad, y'all. She didn't realize that thing was going to buckle like that. And she didn't realize that the camera's going to catch it like that either. Oh, my God. Here we go,
like
y'all.
Internet nonsense, right? Until you start stacking the pieces. Suddenly, it don't feel so crazy. It feels planned. Start with the timeline. Blu vanished from the spotlight right around 2004, not long after her second album. And it wasn't just a slow fade. She went completely dark. No new tracks, no interviews, no shows. Then boom. Years later, in 2012, Beyoncé suddenly has a baby girl named Blue Ivy. Coincidence or something deeper? Around the same time Blu Cantrell was practically wiped from the music scene, fans started putting two and two together. The name Blu stood out like a neon sign. Why would Jay Z and Beyoncé name their child something so random after a color or a vibe? Theories exploded. Some said it was about Jay Z's love for the color blue, sure, but others weren't buying it. They believed it was personal, a hidden nod to Blu Cantrell, and it didn't stop there. That's where the theory turns even darker. Some fans believe Blu Cantrell didn't just fade away. They say she was silenced, forced out. The whispers that she either gave up a child under pressure or was pushed into ending a pregnancy altogether. And what backs it up, they say, is Beyoncé's pregnancy timeline. People point to that now infamous 2011 interview Beyoncé did with the Australian show Sunday Night. She showed up glowing, wearing a tight dress, looking proud. But when she sat down and leaned forward, viewers caught it. Her baby bump folded, like literally bent in a way that didn't look natural, and that moment went viral fast. The internet exploded with theories that she was wearing a fake stomach and that a surrogate was carrying the baby behind the scenes.
Oh, wait a minute, y'all. My bad. It shouldn't even be funny. It shouldn't be funny. She was carrying a fake stomach. The way she said, and she was carrying a fake, I thought I was going to say carrying a fake baby. Okay, that was a fake stomach.
Natural, and that moment went viral fast.
What's this?
The internet exploded with theories that she was wearing a fake stomach
and
that a surrogate was carrying the baby behind the scenes.
Dang.
When you line it all up, Blu Cantrell's sudden disappearance, the pregnancy rumors, and the name Blue Ivy, the whole story starts feeling too clean. Like someone worked hard to smooth over something messy. If Beyoncé really used a surrogate, then who was the real mother? Some folks believe Blu didn't just vanish. She was forced to carry that baby and stay quiet. Jaguar Wright, who's gained a rep for exposing dark industry secrets, didn't hold back. She's called out Jay Z and Beyoncé straight up, accusing them of erasing Blu from the game. She claims they used their power to take control of the story, shut down anyone in their way, and rewrite the past however they wanted. Even the name Blue Ivy, Jaguar said that wasn't an accident, it was deliberate. And it gets even darker. According to Blu herself, when Beyoncé found out she was pregnant, she panicked. Blu claims she was poisoned and that Beyoncé didn't stop there. She allegedly pressured Blu into ending the pregnancy. That's what Blu says truly broke her. Not the fame, not the industry politics. That. Fans now look at Blu's 2014 breakdown, running barefoot in Santa Monica, screaming that someone was trying to poison her, as something deeper. And they're comparing her to other celebs who were labeled crazy after speaking out. Britney Spears, Martin Lawrence, Kanye West, Jaguar Wright. Was Blu just another name added to that list? It's the same playbook every time someone becomes a problem in the industry. First, you ruin their name, then you wipe them out completely. And that's what makes the Blue Ivy theory so hard to brush off. Even if you believe Beyonce really gave birth to Blue Ivy, the layers of secrecy, the tight NDAs, the image control, it all makes the cover-up sound way too real. Think about it. If Blu Cantrell really had a child with Jay Z, what would that mean for Beyonce's whole public image? For the Carter brand, the billion-dollar empire built on perfection and power? It would tear it all apart. Jay Z wouldn't just be exposed as a cheater. He'd be seen as a man who had a child with someone else and then tried to bury it. And Beyonce, she'd be caught in the middle. People would accuse her of helping cover it up or worse, rewriting the story entirely. And Blu Cantrell, she wouldn't be just a forgotten name from early 2000s R&B. She'd be the missing link in one of the biggest celeb bombshells of this century. But here's what's wild. She's never once said she had a baby, no public claims, no baby photos, no names dropped, nothing. It's that silence, that perfect silence that makes this story even louder. She didn't just fade out, she vanished. And that silence, that's exactly what they needed. Blu Cantrell's career didn't decline like most artists. It was erased. One day she was topping charts and the next, nothing. And when you dig into the how and who behind that disappearance, the pattern becomes way too obvious to ignore. Let's rewind to 2003. Blu dropped her second album, Bittersweet. It had strong tracks, killer vocals, and even scored her another Grammy nomination. But behind the scenes, something was off. The album barely got promo. Arista Records, the same label that hyped her debut, suddenly went quiet. No big push, no marketing, no momentum. Her tours got cut short, her spotlight dimmed. Meanwhile, Beyonce was gearing up to take over the world, and Blu, she was getting iced out, quietly, strategically. And then without a word, her contract just wasn't renewed. No press release, no official goodbye, just gone. People started raising eyebrows, then came the comparisons and the accusations. Blu didn't hold back. She said Beyonce wasn't just winning, she was copying. One major example, Blu dropped a video for her song Round Up, a bold Western-themed visual with fierce outfits, desert landscapes, and edgy storytelling. It was fresh. It was wild. And suddenly, not long after, fans noticed Beyonce coming out with visuals that looked real familiar. Not long after that, Jay Z and Beyonce dropped 03 Bonnie and Clyde, and the music video, it had visuals that looked eerily close to what Blu had just done. Then came the Sean Paul situation. Blu had already dropped Breathe, one of her biggest hits featuring Sean Paul. It was everywhere, radio, clubs, charts. The sound was fresh with that Caribbean bounce and smooth hook. Then suddenly Beyonce released Baby Boy featuring Sean Paul too. Same kind of vibe, same kind of beat. To Blu, this wasn't just coincidence. It felt intentional, like someone was watching her every move and using it. What made it sting even more? Beyonce had Jay Z backing her at every step. Her videos got sharper, her sound more polished, her releases rolled out like clockwork, flawless, high budget, and always right on time. Meanwhile, Blu's support was disappearing. Her budget got cut, her promo dried up. Her name started quietly getting erased from the industry conversation. One artist was getting a global empire built around her, while the other was being shut out. But Blu didn't just take it. In one of the boldest moves of her career, she clapped back, not just in the booth, but out loud. In an interview with The Guardian, when asked about Beyonce, Blu didn't hold back at all. Blu didn't sugarcoat a thing. She said, I'm an adult, she's younger, and if she's doing what you're saying, then she's being a little immature. If she goes there with me, it's the wrong move. Then she added, if you have issues with your man, address it with him. Don't take it out on the girl. to fans watching from the sidelines, that was crystal clear. Blu was done being quiet. She wasn't just throwing shade. She was calling Beyonce out directly. And Jay Z, she wasn't sparing him either. The frustration was real. She was speaking from the gut. But right after that interview, Blu vanished. No new songs, no third album, no tour dates, just silence. The exact moment she chose to speak her truth, she was gone. Sound familiar? According to Jaguar Wright, this wasn't some random coincidence. It was textbook. Jaguar, once a rising neo-soul artist herself, has been exposing what she calls strategic erasure. She says the industry targets those who refuse to play along. Artists who get too bold, too loud, or too real, they get shut down. And she's been saying it loud. Blu Cantrell was one of them. She says, Jay Z worked very hard. Blu, it's time to speak up, because this wasn't just about music or who had the better song. It was about control. If Blu and Jay Z really were involved, maybe even expecting a child, then removing her from the spotlight had nothing to do with charts. It was about shutting down a story before it ever saw the light of day. And here's the kicker. The pattern doesn't end with Blu. Look at other major R&B women from that era, Mia, Monica, even Aaliyah. All of them were killing it before Beyonce's solo career took off. Then something shifted. Mia went from award shows and world tours to quietly going independent. Monica stopped getting that mainstream radio push. And Aaliyah, she was breaking into Hollywood and elevating to icon status before dying in a tragic plane crash in 2001, just as Destiny's Child was rising to a whole new level. Some fans and even people inside the industry don't think this is just bad timing. They think it's a pattern, a system. And by 2004, Jay Z was no longer just a rapper. He was the president of Def Jam, one of the most powerful positions in the business. And guess what? That's right around the time Blu Cantrell's contract just magically got dropped. Later, she revealed something that raised serious eyebrows. The lawyer she was told to trust during contract talks was also working for the label. That's not just shady, that's a clear conflict of interest. She never stood a chance. Blu said it straight. Now, if I'd known, I would have got my own lawyer. That lawyer was working for them. They took what was mine. She had no control over her masters. She barely saw royalties from her own songs. And when she tried to push back, she got left in the cold. No support, no platform, no way forward. Then came the final blow, her 2014 breakdown. By then, Blu had been missing from the game for years. No third album, no tour dates, hardly any interviews. Fans who once saw her lighting up the charts were left asking, what happened to Blu? And just when it looked like maybe she'd surface again, her name returned, but not for music. Instead, headlines broke. She was spotted running barefoot through the streets of Santa Monica at 2 a.m., yelling that someone was trying to poison her with gas. Police showed up, detained her, and took her in for a psych evaluation. And just like that, Blu Cantrell went from chart topper to tabloid cautionary tale. The media tore her apart, unstable, unhinged, washed up. That's all they saw. But for some fans, the situation felt too familiar. Like we'd seen this movie before, because we had it back in 1996. Martin Lawrence was found doing the exact same thing, walking into traffic in LA, rambling that people were after him. Just like Blu, just like others who tried to speak up and got labeled crazy instead. Martin Lawrence was out in the street waving his arms, yelling that people were trying to kill him. Then in 2016, Kanye West was forcibly hospitalized after going on stage and calling out Beyonce, Jay Z, and powerful players in the industry. And we all remember Britney Spears. Her public breakdown came after years of legal control and mental pressure. It's like clockwork. Every time a celeb starts talking too much or becomes inconvenient, a narrative drops. They're crazy. They're unstable. Don't listen to them. Move on. Blu's story followed that exact script, but here's the twist. She didn't stay silent. She eventually spoke up, and what she revealed flipped the entire 2014 breakdown on its head. According to Blu, that wild night in Santa Monica wasn't just some mental meltdown. It was the aftermath of serious trauma she had never been allowed to speak on. She said what happened to her wasn't just neglect. It was erasure. And worse than that, it was betrayal. She claimed the very people who once promised to protect her career were the same ones who turned on her. And that lawyer, yeah, the one she was told to trust during her Arista Records deal, she said he wasn't there to help her. He was secretly working for the label the whole time. And it gets even deeper. According to Blu, the lawyer who was supposed to be on her side ended up repping Jay Z's circle. She called it out plain. That lawyer ended up representing them. Conflict of interest. They were all working together to basically take what was mine. She says she was set up, lied to, and tossed out. But that's not even the wildest part. Blu claims someone tried to poison her using gas that 2014 night in Santa Monica. She says it wasn't a breakdown. It was a desperate escape from something way darker. Now, yeah, these claims are hard to prove, but here's what makes it unsettling. Blu isn't the only one to say something like this. And she's not the only one whose life spiraled after crossing paths with this same circle. Take Tiara Mari. She was once hyped as the next big star under Jay-Z's Rockefeller label. Then suddenly, she vanished from the spotlight. Insiders say Beyonce allegedly found out Tiara was getting too close to Jay-Z and everything was shut down. One blind item even claimed Beyonce sent the message out to all the major label execs. No deals for Tiara. And if anyone tried to go around it, they were allegedly paid a visit and warned to back off. Then there's Kathy White, another name linked to Jay-Z. The rumor, she was pregnant and ready to go public. But right before she was allegedly set to expose everything, she was gone. Kathy White was found dead, case closed, no deep dive, no follow-ups, no real questions. But over the years, the whispers only got louder. And they didn't just point at Jay-Z. Some people started pointing at Beyonce. The theory? Kathy was silenced before she could speak. And when you view everything through that lens, Blu Cantrell's 2014 breakdown doesn't look like some random meltdown. It starts to feel like the final scream of someone who had been ignored, betrayed, and pushed into silence for too long. By then, Blu had nothing left. No label backing her, no legal protection, no media platform. She was called unstable, written off by the press, and the industry just kept moving like nothing ever happened. No accountability, no answers. And the truth, Blu wasn't the only one. As Beyonce's fame skyrocketed, other female R&B singers who once ruled the charts began to vanish. Not just fade away naturally, vanish. No goodbye, no final album, just silence. When you start putting their stories side by side, the pattern hits different. Take Mia. She was everywhere in the late 90s and early 2000s, awards, music videos, chart-topping singles, and then practically erased, just like that. Maya had it all. Grammy-winning collabs, major label deals, and even features on some of Jay-Z's biggest tracks. She was a real force in the game. But the second Beyonce stepped out from Destiny's Child to launch her solo career, Mia's presence started shrinking fast. She got pushed toward the indie scene, struggled with label support. Distribution became a nightmare, and eventually she was left to grind on her own, rebuilding everything from the ground up. Years later, Mia admitted she felt blackballed, said the industry flipped on her, and she had to restart from scratch. Then there's Aaliyah. Before Beyonce fully stepped into the spotlight, Aaliyah was already becoming the queen of R&B and pop. She had the music, the look, and was crossing over into Hollywood like it was nothing. Movie deals, red carpet domination, a new album on the way. But in 2001, everything stopped. Aaliyah died in a tragic plane crash, right as Destiny's Child was gearing up for their final run and Beyonce was being lined up for solo superstardom. Fans have looked back and questioned the timing, not always from a conspiracy angle, but culturally. The shift in power, the vacuum left behind, it all felt too clean. After Aaliyah passed, she was the last real artist standing in Beyonce's lane. And once she was gone, the whole landscape shifted. Beyonce didn't have anyone left at her level. Not in sound, not in presence, not in power. And that takes us right back to Blu Cantrell, because what if Blu's story wasn't just some tragic fall off, but the first chapter in a longer, messier story? What if she was the test run, a warning, a woman who had it all, talent, industry backing, a growing fan base, and then everything snatched from her? The music industry has pulled moves like this before, and it's clear it'll do it again. But now the cracks are starting to show. The truth is leaking out bit by bit through whistleblowers like Jaguar Wright. Through interviews Blu tried to give, but that got buried. Through fans who never forgot. Through contracts and documents that don't stay locked away forever. Because if Blu Cantrell was erased, then who's next?
Golly, this is too much right here, man. Hey, I know one thing. They cover up a whole lot of stuff. Jay Z and Beyonce, they locked down the whole hospital. Why are you doing all this stuff? I mean, you talking about some overboard type stuff. Where's where's your son, the twin? How come you don't show him a lot? You see Blu out there a lot. Now you're starting to see the twin's daughter. I mean, the twin's sister. You know, the female twin. You don't see the boy. Then you got the mother line. Oh, he's into numbers and stuff. He's not into all kids are into being around people. What are you talking about? He's not into being on film and all that. He a little kid. He don't know no better. Hey, I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.